Man, I thought the DM was never gonna level us. What are you planning to take for your skill feat?
I'm actually thinking about taking assurance. I'm tired of failing checks in my best skills because I happen to roll low. With assurance, I won't ever have to roll dice again, right?
Oh, you couldn't be more wrong.
Welcome to another episode of Tabletop Shampoo. Today, we're here to talk to you about the feat Assurance.
That's right, we're gonna discuss the ins and the outs of this feat and maybe why you should or shouldn't take it.
Of course, we're your hosts. I am Vanish.
And I am Primate Pimpin'.
And before we get into the thick of it, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you want more Pathfinder 2e content.
Yeah, we have a lot more videos we're aiming to release, so make sure you don't miss it.
Alright, so first let's look at the Assurance feat itself. It's a feat you can start taking at level 1 and has the Fortune, General, and Skill traits. It reads, even in the worst circumstances, you can perform basic tasks. Choose a skill you're trained in. You can forego rolling a skill check for that skill to instead receive a result of 10 plus your proficiency bonus. Do not apply any other bonuses, penalties, or modifiers. You can also select this feat multiple times, affecting a different skill each time.
When we first looked at the skill, it immediately reminded us of taking 10 or taking 20 from D&D. An easy way to skip the random skill rolls, but there are some key differences. In favor of Assurance, it doesn't take any additional time like it would in D&D. If you have Assurance in a skill, you can apply its effects regardless of the situation. Unfortunately, there's some big downsides. Unlike D&D, you don't get to apply your full bonuses. You only get to add your proficiency bonus. It removes your stat modifier and all other bonuses.
Paizo actually planned this out really well. A guide they use to help GMs decide how difficult a task should be is a chart of target numbers your players try to hit with their skill rolls, also known as DCs. They split this into two types, level DCs and simple DCs. Level DCs are based on the character's level, or the level of the task itself. If you're a level 5 character trying something challenging to a level 7 character, you're gonna have a hard time. Based on pure numbers alone, your Assurance check will fall short of hitting your standard level DC at almost every level, even when increasing your skill proficiency at the earliest possible opportunity, the notable exceptions being at level 7 and 8.
Or level 2 if you're a rogue.
And the same goes for simple DCs, a guide for target numbers based on the training level of the task between untrained and legendary. Again, your check falls below the marker except at levels 6 and 14.
So as you can see, Pathfinder planned for Assurance to actually be a guaranteed fail, but it's not all bad. Situations where a DC doesn't scale with level can actually be good for Assurance, notably in the case of medicine checks. Because you only ever need a 15 to succeed at the most basic medicine roll, you're guaranteed to succeed from level 3 onwards, as long as the DM doesn't decide the roll should be harder due to circumstances.
And while we're talking about DMs, who's to say your DM is even following the charts for DCs anyways? Maybe your DM is someone who makes up DCs on the fly, in which case Assurance could be okay to take because all you really need to do is convince your DM the task would be trivial for your character.
I mean, sure, but don't forget some spells and in-game actions require a check against your level DCs. DMs aren't going to ignore that. Rules as written, it's not a feat worth taking except in very specific cases. It doesn't work the way it leads you to believe, and you're always better off rolling the dice. Paizo made a feat that doesn't work as advertised.
Now see, that's where I disagree. I think it works exactly as advertised. It said, even in the worst circumstances, you can still perform the most basic tasks. I know we've been talking disparagingly of Assurance, but I actually like the feat. I think level DCs represent numbers that are supposed to be challenging to characters of that level. You shouldn't be able to just pass it with Assurance without a roll. That takes the fun out of the game. Assurance is for the skill checks that your character should pass, but you want to hedge away from swingy low rolls like 1s and 2s. Are you a master in stealth trying to sneak around a sleeping guard? You should never fail that, right? Oops, you rolled a 1 and stubbed your toe. Now you look like an idiot in front of your party and a guard.
Taking a feat to prevent rolling a 1 seems hardly justifiable. It's only a 5% chance.
Sure, but also against skill checks that might require you to roll a 6 or higher, Assurance could potentially protect you from a 25% failure rate, which is no joke. 5s happen.
Okay, sure, but when everything is on the line, you're just gonna have to make the roll. So it's a waste of a feat.
Yeah, if it's a very important skill check, you're probably going to have to roll for it. But you also haven't considered the situations where you might have more time, or failing doesn't have a negative consequence. In the case of picking a lock, if you have some time, you can try Assurance first. There's no reason not to. If that fails, you have an idea of the difficulty of the lock and can just roll it. All in all, I think Assurance has its place. You're a skilled acrobat. You never have to worry about slipping and falling when jumping onto a table ever again. But if you do something more challenging, say more appropriate to your level DC, you should have to roll. Guaranteed success makes it less of a game and less fun, in my opinion.
Okay, so if your DM plays by the book and you're worried about really challenging skill checks, it's not for you. Maybe except for some specific cases. You're never going to succeed at anything you're facing if it's on par with your party level. Taking assurance and not ever using it would be terrible because there's so many great feats to choose from.
Yeah, and choice is what makes a game like Pathfinder so great. I think you should choose this feat if your character would be so good at something they never have to roll for basic tasks. It takes some of the mechanics out and allows for some more theatrics and smoother gameplay. You don't have to roll a check for every basic thing you do. Just don't expect it to be a guaranteed success at every check just because you max your proficiency in the skill. Even a character with legendary skill can't automatically succeed at a task of legendary difficulty.
Well, then that wraps up our video on assurance. Hopefully that helps you decide on whether taking it is worthwhile for your character. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and catch us in our next video. Peace.